You do know why Disney is failing these days, right? Well, it's the wokeness, the fact that they're injecting all their movies with social and racial justice. That's the real reason, right? No, it's the fact that they're constantly changing all the stuff we liked as young boys and men to women. Mary Sues and Karens, right? No, what's really killing Disney is all the LGBTQ stuff they're injecting in all the stuff they make, right? Listen, movies today either make money or not. Shows either have viewers that pay a sub or viewers that watch commercials for revenue. It doesn't matter how much politics they put in their stuff or whether Rey is the ultimate Jedi or not, it comes down to one thing only. Are people willing to pay money for it? Are people willing to go back over and over to see that movie in the theater, get the merchandise, tell everyone how awesome it is? And it comes down to one group of people that can either make it happen for Disney, for Star Wars, or for Marvel. Boys. You can inject as much politics into your crap that you want, and if boys like it, they'll keep buying it. Make stuff boys like, and boys will gladly pay for it. Or in my case, their dad will pay for it. That's why Disney is failing. They forgot who their target audience actually is. They forgot what boys actually want. You know what the opposite of love is? It isn't hate, it's apathy, not caring anymore. And boys have moved on from hating Star Wars and Marvels and Pixar's or whatever else. They don't even care anymore. They don't even give it any time of day. In my last video, I had people ask me whether my boys had seen the latest Ahsoka show because they think that they'd like it. But my boys had already moved on. They didn't want to watch it. They didn't have any interest. I did. Oh, they just don't care anymore, and that's the sad thing about it. They don't care about Marvel or anything else Disney has to offer. They've broken up with Disney, moved on, blocked her number. They're done. Because it doesn't matter how many characters they change to female or whatever, because if boys loved it, they'd go back over and over to see it. It also doesn't matter what sex, gender, or pronoun a character has. If a boy thinks they're awesome, they'll tell their friends, buy the toys, and play all the video games. When my boys were young, they would watch Cars over and over again. They had all the toys, all the coloring books, and even bed sheets of Lightning McQueen. And that's how Disney won back in the day. Did I just spend $100 to go to the theater once to see the movie, adding the special Cars collectible popcorn bucket 3 times over? We went a few times and then bought all the stuff later. Birthdays, Christmases, school supplies, anything with Cars. And it didn't end, and Disney made thousands off my family alone. Cars 1, Cars 2, Cars 3, over and over again. Back in my day, when you loved a movie on VHS, you would have worn it out when you played it so much. Well, even though they had these movies on DVD, it sure felt like they wore those things out. Disney had my boys, and my boys had me. Simple. And Disney had my money, hand over fist. I'd like to say that that was it though, but as the years went on, Disney kept getting more of my money. With Star Wars Lego, with Marvel Lego, and anything to do with those 2 franchises as well. But things started to change. For my family, it started with Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens in 2015. Man, was the hype for that movie huge. But after seeing this in the theater a couple times, we started to feel that there was a bait and switch happening. My boys loved the sequels, me the originals. And when we watched this, we were all left feeling like this wasn't right. And the big thing, they felt rather indifferent about it. They weren't interested in seeing it anymore. They weren't interested in the merch, the t-shirts, even the Lego or toys. They weren't interested in Star Wars Force Awakens themed parties or Christmases or anything to do with that Halloween stuff. There was nothing I could buy that would make them like it either. They were out. And when The Last Jedi came out in 2017, they were rather apathetic to it. We went to see it in the theater, not on the release day like we had done with all the other movies, but a week later. And when we left the theater, we walked out, it was like getting out of school for them. They were tired and relieved it was over. I went to go see it again, but I went alone. 1 ticket, no collectible buckets, and me doing it out of a sadistic need to hope that it wasn't as bad as I'd remembered. It was. My boys were out. They wanted nothing more to do with this. And when The Rise of Skywalker came out, I just went alone to see this out of a sad sense of duty for the geek that I am. My boys, at home, happily playing Terraria on the Switch and watching old DVD of Cars. That movie got $20 out of me. That's it. Not the hundreds, let alone the possible thousands that had taken my boys' interest all those years before. How could Disney see this movie as a success? And how can all those Star Wars apologists that saw this thing as so awesome? What should have been a massive drain on my bank account, one that I would have gladly done over and over again, was no more. And then after all that, everything also changed for Marvel during Phase 3 of the MCU. And just like Star Wars, we were going to the theater over and over again to see these movies, buying the toys, the shirts, the Legos, having themed birthday parties and Halloween costumes, buying the video games. And once again, me spending money like a drunk sailor because that's what my boys wanted. Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, they couldn't get enough. And I couldn't spend enough because my boys loved it. But when it started to change, so did my boys' interest in it too. And it wasn't superhero fatigue. Neither was it girls being in it either. For them, it was as simple as they didn't like it anymore. They weren't interested in what they were making. They found it boring, uninspiring, and just plain empty. You want to know if superhero movies will do good? Well, boys and young men, and even old men, want to see it in the theaters over and over again. And the same with girl movies. Look how good Barbie did in the theater. And even though I hated the message in Barbie, it wasn't made for me. It was made for girls and mothers of little girls. They aren't making Marvel movies for little boys. They're making them for themselves, for their message, for their agendas. And because of that, my boys aren't interested. And the same goes for Pixar and all their things too. Man, you'd think that Lightyear would have killed it with my boys. But they just weren't interested in that train wreck. And you can't force them to like it, nor should you need to try. So until Disney starts making Star Wars and Marvel movies that boys will want to see, they will never be a success again. Go ahead and make your Rey movie. Boys won't be interested. And it's not them being sexist. It's just that they don't care about agendas, diversities, politics. Mary Sue's, she's a terrible character that doesn't resonate with boys. Well, on the bright side, I guess, I'm saving thousands of dollars on this crap. Well, I am spending more money these days on Warhammer and Steam cards. Boys will always find something to be interested in. And with these interests, they'll also get my money.